Hey everybody, welcome back to the A15 Sports Podcast. Really good week of football last week, especially for both of our teams. Both got the win last week. Tua played amazing, almost pretty much historic numbers as far as passing goes. Tyreek Hill was amazing. The Packers won. Jordan Love looked okay, I would say. I mean, I didn't think the Bears defense really offered that much, and a lot of times the guys were wide open. So they were really prepared for the game.
About Jordan Love. If he just doesn't try to do too much, and he didn't, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't try to sling for 350 yards. He took what was there. They ran the ball, and I mean, even he ran it a couple times.
Yeah.
When he needed to. I mean,
we'll see if he can build on that and keep it going the rest of the year. But in today's episode, we're going to talk about our Week 2 picks. And last week, Jake had 10 wins. I had 9. So he also won last year in the pick'em, and this year he's already up 1 game. So we'll start it off. I'm going to tell you, evidently Jake's better than me at picking games. Most people are. I never win any bets, so that's just the way it goes.
I'm just joking.
But up first, we got Green Bay at Atlanta. Atlanta's favored by 1.5. I took the Packers in this game. Not that Atlanta's bad, not that Green Bay is great, but I liked what I saw.
Atlanta win last week?
Yeah. They beat the Panthers. I liked what I saw from Green Bay last week. I liked what I saw from Jordan Love. The defense, Aaron Jones looked good. Not 100% sure on whether or not Jones will play this week, but I'd imagine he would with the hammy. Christian Watson also, the hamstring injury. I would not be shocked if he doesn't play again, but it'd be nice if he did. But the defense looked great. The pass rush was great. The offensive line was great. Atlanta, Bijan Robinson looked pretty damn good last week, like you expect from a top 10 pick. But I'm going to go with Green Bay in this game, and I'd take Green Bay plus 1.5. Hell, if they were favored, I'd take a minus a couple.
Do you think this game has potential trap? Do you feel that way at all? Is there anything that scares you about this game? Because I have a feeling this is becoming off a high win off the Bears, like your arch rival, who no one really, who a lot of people thought rules were going to kind of be reversed.
Yeah,
and it wasn't. Do you feel anything about trap to this? Does this game smell trap to you at all?
Yeah, on the road, like you said, coming off of a good win, maybe some of the guys get a little bit too confident,
I mean, I'm not, by no means am I taking the Falcons. I'm taking the Packers, and I'm taking them to cover by this 1.5. But I'm just saying, in general, this game.
No, I understand what you're saying. And
it's two teams you still – I don't know.
If the Packers come in prepared like they were last week, they should win this game. Maybe not in the same route that they did against the Bears.
Yeah, it might be a closer game.
I wouldn't say that Atlanta's quarterback scares me at all. You're just going to have to stop the run, fill the gaps, and let the defense play because we have good players on defense, as you saw last week, and we'll see how that goes.
I mean, the Packers are definitely better than I thought, and they're definitely better than I think a lot of people thought.
Yeah, it's early, though. If they build another win here, though, people maybe start talking. And then I think you play Kansas City in one of the following weeks. So
no, I thought the Packers don't play them till middle of the season.
Oh, maybe they do.
I
can't remember exactly.
But I thought the Packers' first 4 games were fairly winnable.
Yeah.
After they got the Bears, I thought opening at Soldier Field was going to be hard. Obviously, it was anything but hard. So
they made it look easy. That's a credit to them. They were prepared and. LaFleur actually called up a good game plan. So we both got Green Bay in this one. Jake, I'll let you start off the next one. Buffalo's favored 8.5 at home against Vegas.
Buffalo is favored by 8.5. Wow. I think the Bills are going to rebound. Yeah, you look up the Packers schedule. I think the Bills are going to rebound and beat Vegas. I still think the Bills are really, really good, even though watching them versus the Jets, I don't know. I kind of didn't get the same feel of the Bills. It didn't feel like you just knew you were going to get ran over. Like you knew they were going to score 30 points. It just felt like, the Jets matched up with them and played with them. And, I mean,
obviously,
I think Vegas is different than the Jets. I think the Jets are a little bit more better. The Jets are better than Vegas, I think. But I just feel like Buffalo is not that juggernaut right now. Now they might be middle of the season, but I just feel that way. I just feel like their time was, couple years ago, even last year, but I just kind of feel like they're fading.
They don't feel like the same.
I don't know if you feel that way, but
no, I agree. They don't seem like the same cohesive unit. You know what Diggs has said over the offseason. Apparently, he said something after the game last week against the Jets. I haven't read that quote, but apparently he said something after the game, and he came out and defended his comments. Josh Allen seemed pissed after the game. I mean, I would be too if he had 4 turnovers, but he definitely seems to force the ball into windows that aren't there. Not that he is not a hell of a talent, because he is.
They're still dangerous. I mean, with him behind there.
Yeah, I did pick the Dolphins to win the division in a couple of my parlays, and I personally think that they are, and they look to be. I mean, they're definitely the best scoring offense already.
After week 1, you'd have to say, yeah, if you pick the Dolphins, you might be looking good, but I mean that could change.
Yeah, it's only 1 week.
Anyways, we both got Buffalo. I don't know if I would touch 8.5. That's big.
I'd probably take Vegas plus 8.5 because, minus 8.5 plus 8.5 the other way. I'd take Vegas plus 8.5. But I do have the Bills. Up next, we got Baltimore and Cincinnati. Baltimore came off a win last week. Houston gave them a pretty good fight, and then the Bengals got demolished by the Browns, which I was not expecting. Joe Burrow didn't even get 100 yards passing. Was not expecting that. Obviously, Cleveland proved that they definitely have talent. They've had talent for a few years now, so if they can get it going, they can get it going.
I think I might have mentioned last week.
You picked Cleveland.
Cleveland has had the Bengals number.
Yeah, for the last
3 or 4 years. I mean,
Burrow's only beat them once.
Yeah, so it's not a matchup that they like. Obviously, I don't know why, but with that being said. Do you think does Cincinnati and Buffalo kind of remind you of each other? Like, do you kind of think like they peaked, or what do you feel there? Buffalo definitely peaked. I don't know that Cincinnati has maybe not peaked yet, but they're really, really close.
I think the thing with Burrow got all the way to the Super Bowl. Allen hasn't done that yet, and he did it in his second year. So they probably peaked.
Cincinnati.
In this, if this is the year they're going to peak, it'll be this year because after
this, there's
going to be a lot of guys.
I feel like this is the year the Dolphins peak. Like this is how good they're going to be this year. Like they're not going to be any better because I mean you can't have a much better scoring offense than they have. But I definitely think Buffalo is past their peak, and I think Cincinnati is right there.
So I took the Bengals -3 at home, coming off the loss. You got the Bengals.
Yeah, you think they covered the 3-point spread too?
Yeah, I think they won by a field goal.
Baltimore didn't really look.
They didn't really look that spectacular.
I mean, they won, but they won pretty. I think their score was pretty. They won, but you feel like you were playing Houston. You kind of feel like you wanted to
beat them by a couple touchdowns.
Yeah,
that Zay Flowers looked pretty good for Baltimore. In week 1, the rookie wide receiver, but
that's a good matchup. Baltimore at Cincinnati.
Yeah, it'll be a good game. 1 o'clock.
Another good game. Seattle at Detroit.
Yeah, Seattle's coming off a 17-point loss to the Rams, and Detroit barely beat Kansas City.
That was in Seattle too.
Yeah, but I didn't think the Rams were going to be worth a shit this year. I took Detroit. I don't know if I like Seattle to cover plus 4.5, but I took Detroit. They came off a good win. They're playing at home. This is the first year, I think. No, last year, but was the first year ever that Detroit's had all their season tickets sell out, and that place is going to be rocking, and I think they're going to come out and win that game.
I think Detroit wins. I think they cover that spread. I think this is going to be a hype season for Detroit. They're talked about for once, and they finally proved it versus the Chiefs that, hey, Detroit might be for real this year.
Mm-hmm.
And in a division where it's kind of a toss-up right now, right? We don't know. I'm going to say this. The NFC North is just as much the Packers division right now as it is Detroit's. But I think Minnesota's pretty much done.
Yeah.
Their schedule's brutal. They talked about it last night on the game. So I think the NFC North is going to come down to Detroit and Green Bay. I'm still going to lean towards Detroit, but I mean it's better than I thought last week with the Packers.
Yeah.
I mean now that I think they're going to finish second, they're definitely a wild card spot. They might even win the division.
And at the end of September, they play the Lions at home.
So yeah, the Packers' first 5 games. I mean, they.
Yeah.
It could be 5.
If they end up being the Lions, that Thursday night game will probably be one of the better Thursday night games we have this year because normally the games aren't that good.
The reason I say that is because that's at Lambeau.
Yeah.
When the team's at home, makes me think a little bit different.
Yeah.
So we both took Detroit.
Yep. But I took Seattle plus 4.5.
I'm taking Detroit to cover.
Up next, we got the Chargers at Titans. The Titans are favored by 3.
Titans?
Yeah.
Why?
Unless I read it wrong this morning. Let's see.
It can't be right. Well, I guess they still got their, they got Tannehill and Derrick Henry. Here, you just missed it.
Right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, the Chargers. Chargers are favored by 3. Thanks, Jake. Chargers are favored by 3. I'd take the Chargers and I'd take the -3.
I would take the Chargers. The only way Tennessee stays in this game is if they pound it down the Chargers' throat. And the Dolphins really couldn't run the ball last week. So I don't know if the Chargers have a good line. But if Derrick Henry has a good game,
yeah.
I mean, this game could stay interesting because Derrick Henry's a beast.
Yeah.
Right? We know that. But the Chargers are really good. I feel like
they can score. I think they could score a lot better and a lot quicker than Tennessee.
They can score anytime they want. I'm taking the Chargers. I don't see an upset happening here unless Derrick Henry goes for 200 yards. So we both got Chargers.
It's possible. This might be the last year Derrick Henry's big. Because I just think he's starting to get old. And
that's what happens with running backs. Yeah, you got about 5 or 6 good years, and then you just become like you. That people just kind of look at you like you used to be that.
Yeah, and I think that he's a guy that could get traded mid-season to somewhere else.
You need to close that
Yeah.
windows in your car. That cat's gonna get in there.
So we both got the Chargers for that game. Up next, we got Chicago and Tampa Bay. Tampa's favored by 2.5. I'll take Tampa -2.5. They just came off a really good win last week at Minnesota, which is a very tough place to play. I'd take Baker Mayfield and the Bucs over Justin Fields and the pathetic performance they put on last Sunday.
This is the hardest pick for me because so much of me thinks the Bears can't play as bad as they played last week, right? But the Bears have done this for the last how long, where you say they can't play as bad as they did, and they do.
Yeah.
But I just thought Justin Fields was different, and he still might be. I mean, it's 1 week. But I'm riding in Tampa. I think being down at home is going to help them. The Bears are a toss-up right now. It's too early to judge them, I think. It's too early to judge any team besides maybe Minnesota. Minnesota looks like shit. They looked okay last night, but they turned the ball over 4 times.
I don't think the Eagles look as dominant as they have.
The Eagles don't look like the juggernaut that they did last year, which
they're still 2-0, which I would take.
Yeah,
but
they're 2-0.
They don't look like they did last year.
That's because of who you've played.
Yeah.
I mean, you played at New England, who's fucking garbage.
You barely beat them.
You barely beat them on a call that if it goes New England's way, which you can't say because they reviewed it and it wasn't a catch, but if it was a catch, I mean, they're sitting first and goal with 25 seconds left at what? Where were they at? Like the 15 or 20?
They were within the 15.
So, anyways, we both got Tampa, but I mean, that's going to be a good game.
I read that the wide receiver for the Bears, Claypool, they might bench him. I don't know if you saw some of the videos.
I don't think the Bears know what's going on. I think that organization reminds me a lot of the Chicago White Sox.
Well, they just got in the
Turmoil.
new GM last year. It's just constant.
I mean, you've got to have a sense of, like, you need the Bears need to come out and play with a sense of urgency this week because they didn't last week, right? But inside your team, like your organization, you need to have things laid out, and there needs to be a foundation. You can't continue switching, and that's one thing I'll say about the Dolphins. Chris Greer is not the greatest general manager, but he's been there forever, so you know how he operates. And he goes out and signs free agents. He signs big name players, and if they don't work out, they don't work out. But you know what they're going to do. The Bears, I just don't know. Everything's.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Bears are afraid to really go for it
because they don't. I just feel like no one wants to make a decision.
Well, maybe that, but also there's a good chance they're going to have 2 top 5 picks this year. And this is probably one of the most loaded drafts we've had in a couple of years. So they could end up getting 2 really good guys.
Yeah, but you're
as
not
a Bears
drafting
fan,
a quarterback, right?
I would draft. If I had the number 1 pick, I would take Caleb Williams and just throw Justin Fields with a win. And then with the other top 5 pick, I'd take Marvin Harrison Jr. And there you go. You got your quarterback and your wide receiver for
Yeah,
the
but
next
you'd
decade.
have to take him first, right? Because he's probably gone if you draft the quarterback.
Williams going to be number 1 overall pick. No
Okay.
doubt about it.
But
we'll
anyways,
move on.
yeah.
We'll move on.
I mean, we could talk about the
Yeah.
Bears forever.
Chiefs favored -3.5 at Jacksonville. I'm going to take the Chiefs. I'm assuming Kelsey's going to be back this week. Rumor has it he's dating Taylor Swift.
Jacksonville won week 1, right?
Yeah, they won. They're both 1-0.
Who'd they play?
They played the Colts.
Yeah. Okay, so Colts taking Kansas City. I'm going to pick the upset. I'm taking the Jacksonville Jaguars
At home.
at home. I'm not talking about the spread, but Jacksonville has beaten some good teams. Last year they beat Baltimore down there at home. They came back and won that. What game did they come back and win? Wasn't it the playoff game? The Chargers?
Against the Titans.
What game did the Jaguars come all the way back? I don't remember.
Didn't they beat the Bengals?
I can't remember because it was last year. But anyways, Jacksonville plays well at home in Florida. Everyone knows about the heat, how it affects people when they go to Florida. And Jacksonville's good. And I think Kansas City has peaked. I think you've seen that. They're 0-1, and Kansas City's staring at an 0-2 start for the first time in probably Patrick Mahomes' career. They're just going to start 0-2.
That very well could happen.
I think Jacksonville wins. I think they do. I'm not confident on the pick, but I think they win.
Okay, I think Kansas City's going to win, but I also don't think they've peaked because Mahomes is like 27 or 28.
I don't
Still
mean
got it
that
for the
they
next
peaked.
decade.
I just mean like what they're going to do. Like they're not any better. They have Travis Kelce. I mean, look at how they played versus Detroit. They couldn't move the ball.
Yeah, but besides Mahomes, they have their 2 best players playing this week, and they re-signed Chris Jones for the next year, and then they got Travis Kelce. So I'm going to take the Chiefs, but I get what you're saying. Up next, you got Indy at Houston. I'm going to take Houston at home.
This is a shitty game.
-1. I'm just going to take it's a pick 'em. I'm going to take
Indianapolis at Houston. I'm taking
-1.
the home team. I don't got nothing else to say about this game.
Okay, on to the next game. 49ers -7.5 at Rams. I'm going to take the
Jesus
Niners.
Christ.
I'm going to take the Niners, and I'm going to take them by 7.5.
7.5 on the road too.
Yeah.
Well, say what you want about the Rams. I mean,
They're both in California. They're going to travel.
It's going to be a 49ers home game.
Yeah.
I know the Rams are 1-0, and some fans out there might be jacked, but Niners are really good.
Their defense is legit.
I'm taking the Niners. I don't think I'm going to take 7.5. I wouldn't touch it. It's a lot.
Giants got, blown out last week,
Giants.
40-0, and they're playing at Arizona, who a lot of people think are the worst team in the NFL. I'm going to take the Giants.
This is another shitty game.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Giants to bounce back.
Yeah,
I'll take a -4.
I'll take the New York Football Giants.
Jets.
Now this is a good game.
The Jets basically got their hearts ripped out 4 plays into their season.
I'm a Cowboy fan this week. How about them Cowboys?
I'm going to take Dallas. I wouldn't if Zach Wilson has a bad game. Their defense is awesome, Dallas.
Yeah, I just think the Jets are going to come back to earth this week and find out that they do probably need Aaron Rodgers to step up because I don't know if Zach Wilson will in an environment like it's going to be in Dallas. I mean, Dallas, those fans have got to be stoked. 40-0.
Yeah.
Beating your arch rival, coming home, playing the Jets, who, if Aaron Rodgers was playing this game,
I
might lean towards the Jets, but I'm definitely taking Dallas. And it's 9.
Yeah.
It's 9. Whoa.
I'm taking Dallas -9.
I'm not.
Yeah, he's done for the year.
I'm not touching that spread, but I'm taking the Cowboys.
Up next, you got Washington
This is going to be a
Denver.
good game. This is going to be a good game.
Washington's a little bit better than they have
because
been
I don't think anybody knows one thing about either one of these teams yet.
Well, Denver lost week 1. They really didn't look any better than they did last year. But it's at home. It's in Denver. You know how it is up there in the Mile High.
It's a hard place to play.
I don't like Denver -3.5, but I like Denver to win.
I like the Broncos to rebound and get a win. I do. So
I didn't really pay any attention to Washington's game last week.
I didn't either.
I didn't really pay attention to any
I
game
think they're going to be
besides
better.
Packers and Dolphins.
I don't know that they're good enough to beat the Cowboys to win the division.
You know what? Every
freaking year the Cowboys get off to a good. How about them Cowboys? And then they choke. So we'll come back to the Cowboys in week 14 or 15, and we'll see how good they are.
The same team hasn't won that division back-to-back years since like the 90s.
You know what they say? They call it the NFC least.
Yeah.
Normally every team's 500 and they make the fucking playoffs because that division sucks.
Let's see. Sunday Night Football, we got Miami favorited by 3 at New England. I'm taking Miami, and I'd hammer -3.
Do you think they're going to win by more than 3?
Yeah.
You don't think it's close?
No.
So you think they mollywop the Patriots?
I think they walk over them. What's that, Uncle Ron?
Miami by 21.
21. You guys are.
Uncle Ron's got them by 21. I got them by. There's no doubt they cover 3.
I'm taking the Dolphins. I think this smell, just like I told Cole about his game. This has trap game written all over it. The Dolphins are coming off of a big win. They've got to travel again from Miami to up wherever.
East Coast.
Foxborough.
And I just feel like Miami needs to not overlook the New England Patriots. It's a rival. They really haven't had the Dolphins number because we kind of teeter-totter every year we split. But this game just
2-4.
this game scares me. But I'm going to take the Dolphins.
Yeah, I would take it off.
I mean, and Tua had a historic week. Tyreek Hill had a historic week.
Tyreek might. This is a very hot take, but it wouldn't surprise me if he got 2,000 yards. Like
I don't think it would surprise anyone
because he might get to 1,000 yards in 10 games.
He might. I mean, all we run is motion offense, so you don't know what he's doing. He had like 20 different pre-snap things, but he was left, right, behind, forward, lining up behind the fucking linemen. Like you don't know what they're running. And you can say what you want, but
McDaniel's a good coach.
Motion offense is hard to know what you're going to run.
Yeah.
Because you don't know if they're going to run the ball.
Yeah. I don't know. Did they even run it that much?
I mean, they ran it, but they don't.
And just like last year, a lot of people think that Tua might be in the MVP.
Yeah. He's leading right now.
Yeah. Well, 1 weekend and he had the best game. Yeah. We'll see where it is.
He was leading last week after how many weeks until he got hurt? He was like top 3.
Probably after the first 5 weeks, and then he had the concussion. Hopefully none of that happens again this year.
Yeah.
He can't sustain any more of those. We got 2 Monday Night Football games this week.
Do you know why that is?
They always do that.
At least once or twice. But it ain't going to be the rest of the year.
I don't think so.
But
I think ESPN has some sort of deal where a couple weeks out of the year they get 2 Monday night games.
I'm taking the Saints.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Saints.
I just think they're a sneaky team this year that you don't want to play, especially in that Superdome.
Well, and a lot of their guys are more seasoned and experienced than the guys Carolina's got going. It's at Carolina, though, but I'm going to take the Saints -3. I think Derek Carr, Olave, Michael Thomas, Cam Jordan, the list goes on. I think they get it done against Carolina.
I do
more
too.
of a rookie team.
I think the Saints win. It's a field goal game to me, so I wouldn't touch this 3-point spread, but the Saints win, I think.
Yeah. And in the final Monday night game, so these two will be going basically at the same time. So you know, if you got 2 TVs, it's time to use them. Yeah. Well, 7:15 the one starts, the other one starts at 8:15.
So I wonder if it's 6:15 and 7:15.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
So
it'll be 6:15,
Cleveland at Schittsburg, because that is how Pittsburgh looked. Schittsburg.
You remember I was telling you I thought the Steelers were going to win that game?
They looked like the worst team in the league. I mean, Pickett couldn't throw a ball to save his life. The Niners just moved the ball like Schittsburg didn't have a defense out there. And I don't know about Pittsburgh anymore. I was kind of, they were kind of a team that, like New Orleans, you just didn't want to play Pittsburgh, but I don't know. You might want to play Pittsburgh now.
And I think Cleveland. I'd take Cleveland -2.5. Nick Chubb is the best running back in football, in my opinion.
I think 2.5. I think right now, after week 1, Cleveland looks like they're the best team in the division, but that's only week 1.
One thing that I think could really bother Cleveland this year is that their offensive tackle, Jack Conklin, got hurt last week, and he's done for the year. So that's going to be a big deal.
Their starting offensive tackle?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
That's not good. They've always for the past couple of years they've had a really good line, and he's been a part of it. But yeah, he blew his knee.
Cleveland's scary.
They have good.
And
they have a lot
they
of good
have
talent.
weapons. They have a lot of good players. I would not want to see them on my schedule.
No. Yeah, I agree. I like Cleveland.
Especially going to play in that dump of a stadium in a city in Cleveland. Who wants to go to Cleveland? We know what happened there.
Cubs won the World Series.
2016. Nothing good ever happens in that town, city. But anyways, that's week 2.
Mhm.
I think we deferred from 1 pick. So if Jacksonville
wins, Jake gain a game. He'll gain a game on me. If Kansas City wins, I'll tie him back up.
So we hope your teams win. Obviously, we hope our teams
unless
win.
it's the Bears, I hope they fucking eat shit.
My team's favored. Cole's isn't. Cole's is basically a pick 'em. The Dolphins are favored by 3 on the road, which is pretty impressive because you know how good New England's been for our whole life.
Yeah, but
But it's
past
a
couple of
different
years
team.
they have not been that
It's a
good.
different team.
So
But that's all I got.
yeah, that's all we got for this week. Everybody enjoy another weekend of football and enjoy it while it lasts. We'll see you.